everyone. Is everybody ready? Just when the speakers get over here? Yes? Okay. Yeah, you're the everyone. Okay. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Captain Krista Stedman. That's CHRISTA STEDMAN. I am the Public Information Officer for Austin Travis County EMS. I am joined this afternoon by Austin Police Department Public Information Officer Ariel Crooms. That's ARIEL CRUMES, as well as Austin Travis County EMS Assistant Chief Wes Hopkins, WESHOPKINS, and last but certainly not least, the Chief Medical Officer for St. David's North Austin, Dr. Peter DeYoung, PETERDEYOUNG. So we're here this afternoon to give you all an update on the incident that happened last night and some things that we have learned since then. As well as just sort of walk you through some of the reasons that you saw such a big response to this incident. I'll start out by saying that we are unable to provide updates on the conditions of the two pediatric patients that were transported to Dell Children's, but I believe we'll be able to give some updates about some of the other ones. And then this will be the last briefing that we have for this event. So with that, I will pass it off to Officer Ariel Crooms from the Austin Police Department.
Again, just to reiterate, my name is Officer Ariel Crooms, the Austin Police Department Public Information Office. You spell that ARIEL CRUMES. On Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, at approximately 5:35 p.m., Austin Police Department officers responded to a crash at North Austin Medical Center, located at 12221 North Mopac. The driver of the sedan, Michelle Holloway, and I can spell that, MICHELLHOLLOWAY, crashed her vehicle into the emergency room waiting area. 3 adults and 2 juveniles that were in the waiting room area were injured and taken to different hospitals for treatment. Some of their injuries were serious but non-life-threatening. Holloway was later pronounced deceased at North Austin Medical Center. This investigation is in its early and preliminary stages. However, there is no indication at this time that this was an intentional act, nor does it indicate that the driver suffered from a medical episode. The circumstances are still under investigation. The information may change as the investigation progresses. Again, the decedent is Michelle Holloway, a black female, date of birth 05/02/1966.
Good afternoon. My name is Wes Hopkins. I'm an Assistant Chief for Austin Travis County EMS. We wanted to give you some updated information. Just a point of clarification from last night. We were originally poised to level the emergency department via our ambulance and move 8 patients out of the emergency department to St. David's Round Rock. However, that ended up being 5 patients. There were some patients that were able to be admitted and some patients that were able to be discharged. And so that number went from 8 into 5. I wanted to take a moment to talk about just the large response that you saw here as the calls come into 911. We definitely, being 5:30 in the afternoon, given traffic and the just sheer volume of calls we have, front-loaded this. We've got mass casualty levels, 1 through 5, 1 being the large volume of patients, 5 being the least. And so we leaned heavily into this from a 5 to a 4, just to make sure that we had the number of ambulance resources here to meet the patient volume that we didn't know we were going to have. And so we were very grateful that it turned out to be a lower number of patients. I would say that, the Austin Police Department, the Austin Fire Department, and Austin Travis County EMS trained for this type of incident. However, being at a healthcare facility, we had medical providers on staff. And so it was a really interesting situation. We're very grateful. The medical staff definitely jumped in harm's way in a very austere and dynamic environment and came to meet the needs of those patients, and we're incredibly grateful. It certainly made the jobs of the 3 public safety agencies, a lot easier when we got here to make sure that we got all of the critical patients triaged, and then we got the two of the most critical patients off the scene in right at about 30 minutes, which is not bad, just given the sheer number of chaos and people calling 911 and bystanders that we had on scene and had to sort that out. So we're incredibly grateful for the medical staff of how they stepped in and definitely helped us. It made our job so much easier. And then just to say that you saw that large ambulance response, we went ahead and utilized our ambus so that we could take 911 ambulances and put them available for the rest of the 911 system calls. And so the ambus is a local and state asset that Austin Travis County EMS has so that we can just move large volumes of patients. And fortuitously, these patients, obviously, because we were leveling the ER, were going to the same facility. So it made a lot of sense to utilize that asset to move those patients. So point of clarification there, and we'll be around at the end for questions. And at that point, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Dr. Peter DeYoung, I'm the Chief Medical Officer at St. David's North Austin. I have a brief statement I'm going to read from, and then I'll add some additional remarks. St. David's North Austin Medical Center is grateful for the swift efforts of our first responders, the safety of our patients and their families, as well as our employees. It remains our number one priority. St. David's North Austin Medical Center has resumed operations and is open to EMS transports as of 7 a.m. this morning. While the hospital's north entrance remains closed, visitors and staff can use our other entrances, including through the Children's Hospital and the Women's Center. We are hopeful that our north entrance will be open later this afternoon. Patients who are arriving for surgery are being asked to enter through the hospital's west entrance. So that's the official statement, but wanted to just share with everyone, I just want to turn and thank all of you so much for what you have done. For your quick response, for partnering with our facility and saving lives. It was a chaotic environment, but you added order, and it made such a difference. So thank you for your partnership, each of you. I also want to thank the entire hospital team. When this happened, there was a loud noise. The facility knew something was going on, and people descended from all parts of the hospital to rally together and to jump into what was a very unknown and dangerous situation. We had 3 team members that when the vehicle entered into the lobby, it was in drive and running, and they put their life in harm's way and stopped the car from running and did their best to preserve life for the driver. And so I just can't think about superheroes. Those are superheroes for doing that. And so thank you to those team members specifically. Thank you to the doctors and nurses and techs and everyone at our facility that just did everything they can amidst so much chaos. We really felt, considering the tragic nature of what happened, there was so many blessings that did occur. Something that it might be seen in some of the videos was the water. The vehicle had direct impact to a very large aquarium that really, I believe, saved lives as it absorbed the impact. And so, thank you. I thank God for intervening there and giving us that protection. But there was just so many things. It's hard not to be emotional just talking about it. I did want to kind of reiterate that we are thankful that the patient transferred to Round Rock is in stable condition. The 2 pediatric patients were not able to give an update, as was mentioned, and there was another family member that went with them that was not officially seen here. And we did have a patient that was seen for injuries and later discharged. But those are kind of the key remarks I wanted to share with you all.
I think Ms. Holloway had passed out. There was CPR in progress. Was she unconscious when the car came to a stop?
Yeah, I'm not at liberty to answer that question. So I don't have anything to add unless someone else does.
You would be able to answer this. Are there any, like barriers in front of any of the entrances that would maybe stop a car, or should there be anything to stop this kind of?
Yeah, no, great question. We do not have a barrier there. That is open to make ease of access for patients to come in with wheelchairs and other assist devices, but I acknowledge your question for sure.
Just clarify, I know you mentioned the aquarium. Can you take us through, because for some people who have never been in there, what that looked like before and then how it actually helped stop the situation?
Yeah, it is a very large aquarium of substantial size with many gallons of water, and so that aquarium absorbed a large part of the impact, and it also was a large amount of water that went onto the vehicle. There was lots of pictures of smoke that have been on social media. From what we can tell, that smoke was all from the tires continuing to squeal on the tile, and so we're thankful that it was able to clear out.
And just to verify,
is there any indication of how fast this car may have been traveling? We haven't seen video of the impact.
Sure. I'm not at liberty to speculate that. I don't know.
Can you step up and we can hear you?
Yes.
Was there any indication if this car was speeding? Was it somebody trying to get to the ER, or just a mishap? Any kind of characterization?
Okay, at this time, vehicular homicide is still investigating, so I do not have the answer to your question.
You don't know the speed of the movement?
No, I do not. Vehicular homicide is investigating.
Is there any video that you guys are looking at of the actual impact?
Vehicular homicide detectives are still investigating. They're looking at all video, talking to all witnesses, so I do not have an answer to that question.
You mentioned that you ruled out medical.
Can you speak up? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You mentioned that you ruled out a medical.
Correct.
issue. For those of us that are not doctors, what does that mean? And does that rule out any psychological issues?
So this is the preliminary stages of the investigation, so I do not have the answer on whether or not it was a psychological event or a mental health event. At this time, based on preliminary investigations by the Vehicular Homicide Unit, it is not an intentional act, nor is it a medical act.
How do you rule out it not being a medical act? That's a big question that we're all kind of shaking our head at.
You can check back in with the Public Information Office at Austin Police Department for those answers.
They haven't told you that?
No, I do not have that answer.
Homicide detectives haven't told you?
No, I do not.
Were any staff members injured during the process? I know you said they jumped in and kind of saved the whole people.
Maybe somebody else can answer that.
We had 3 team members that were injured, and I would consider them kind of minor injuries. I do want to speak to I am worried about our team. I think for an experienced team, but a young team, we have all experiences of team members and nurses, and I'm worried about them. We have we have chaplains and employee and counselors available to support them during this time. Great question. So over the course of the night, from about 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., we had over 30 people working in the emergency department, and it looks amazing. We have walled off the areas of damage to the registration area and part of the triage area, but we hope to open up the lobby for business shortly. We have been working through our ambulance bay for walk-in patients during this time.
So they can still walk in, like, do they just have to use a different entrance?
Yeah, the ambulance bay is what's being used right now, but we expect later this afternoon to use the main entrance.
So this afternoon, main entrance open, right?
Yes. Pardon?
About how long who performed the CPR exactly?
Yeah.
And how long?
It was our physician team there. I don't have the answer to that question.
Do you have a connection to the hospital or a recent patient or any connection to the hospital? Family, hospital?
I don't think I'm at liberty to say that. I'll check with our team if I can share more on that.
Was she an employee?
Sure, absolutely. So we transferred out 4 patients that had injuries. One was a woman that went to Round Rock. A second was not truly a patient, but was a parent of 2 pediatric patients that went to a neighboring facility. I can only speak to the stable condition for the patient that's in our health system at St. David's Round Rock.
was Michelle Holloway a former employee or current employee of the hospital?
Not that I'm aware of.
Were all the people that were injured, were they in the waiting room?
Yes. This is one of those things I would consider providence, in that the waiting room had been cleared out. It can be a very busy place, and that there are relatively few patients there at this time, and we're very thankful for that. But they were in the waiting room in the area around the aquarium.
Patients in the waiting room as well?
I believe so. I can't speak to how many.
Does this accident make you want to
Does it make you reconsider the bollards or kind of any precautionary measures maybe outside?
Those are things. Would be out of my chief medical officer hat that I'm sure the operations team has lots of expertise. I hear what you're saying though, and we will be discussing this.
Thank you guys very much. I'm going to get these guys back to work. We appreciate everybody being here.